Good day, Matrix. Welcome back to yet another segment. In this lesson, we are moving on to a new topic, a map work and tour planning. So now there is certain concepts that we will go through in depth. Firstly, I just want to highlight that planning is very important in any industry, and more so in the tourism industry than most industries. So now obviously when we talk tourists, they need to plan their trips. They need to know where they are going. So that's what we are going to be talking about, planning. So we'll start with tour plans and route planning, where I will discuss how one can actually compile a budget or one can develop a tour plan. We'll move on and talk about travel documents, those required documents when one is traveling from one country to the next, and that includes your documents like passport, visas, just to mention a few. We'll also look at the compilation of an itinerary. How can an agent compile, a very, very appropriate itinerary for a specific tourist? That's what we will look at. We'll also check out the safety of tourists. We'll calculate the time zones, look at the world time zones. So all of these things we are going to look at when it comes to map work and tour planning. Now, let's first look at developing tour plans. How can one develop a proper tour plan? And how important are these tour plans? Now, people travel for many different reasons. Others, they can be traveling for leisure. Others can be traveling to visit family and friends. Others for business. So whatever the reason is, that trip needs to be planned, and for it to be successful, there should be, proper planning. So a good tour plan should indicate the following. If you are planning, you need to make sure that the route of the tour is followed and you know the length of your tour, how long it's going to take, which routes are you going to take from here, for instance, to Limpopo. Which road are you going to use? Are you going to use the N1, or you are going to use any other route that can get you maybe to Messina? And also, you need to also indicate on a tour plan the mode of transport that you are going to use. Are you going to use air transport? Are you going to use road or rail or even water transport? So in a tour plan, that should be indicated. So it depends with the type of a tourist. So that gives an indication to say, if I'm an adventure tourist, I wouldn't want to travel maybe in an aeroplane. I would want to drive myself, or I would want to use a donkey cart, or something extraordinary. So that should be indicated in a tour plan. So now there is other things that need to be indicated there. The type of accommodation. What type of accommodation does a specific tourist is going to use during their stay at their destination? If it's a leisure tourist, obviously they would want the most luxurious game lodges that we offer here in South Africa, or the most luxurious hotels we have. And also a proper tour plan should indicate the cost of the tour. I'm talking about the budget. So now, if you have drawn up that tour plan, you have actually calculated the cost of transport, the cost of accommodation, the cost of anything else that needs, planning for, and you are presenting it to the tourist, and it should suit that kind of a tourist, because obviously you will have constant communication with that tourist just to inquire on their needs and wants and what needs to be changed, and so on and so on. Not forgetting the indication of food and drinks offered at the establishments that maybe a tourist agent would have, proposed to the tourist. That should be indicated on the tour plan. Now, there's different tours that are planned for tourists. I'll name them and explain them to you, how different they are, so that next time if you decide to just, take a trip to a nearby province, you know which tour is appropriate for you. So they go with packages. So I'll start with packaged tours. Packaged tours are known as inclusive tours because now everything is included. Everything is inclusive. There is no additional cost that you'll be asked to, pay, or there is no extra money that will be needed after this tour has been presented to you. So anything else that a tourist would want to do will be included in this, what is called a packaged tour. So they compile a tour plan, they include everything that is appropriate maybe for you, and then they present it to you. Everything else, they will tell you this amount pays for everything else and anything else that you would want during your stay in at your destination. The second one is escorted tour packages. Now, this is whereby a tour guide is allocated to a tourist. So now you have somebody to escort you from one point to the next. They will even assist you if ever you need some goods and services, purchase some items. They will assist you even in, making you understand your surroundings. Even the issue of you not understanding the local language, a tour guide will assist you in that because they can actually interpret what is meant by a whole lot of things here in South Africa. For instance, if you're an adventure tourist, they love using public transport. You are inside a minibus taxi. Somebody says short left, and you don't understand what short left means. A tour guide is able to explain to you that means that somebody is dropping off at just by the corner, just the nearby corner. So now that's what I'm talking about. That is an escorted package tour. So we also have group package tours. Now, group package tours are appropriate for the first-time travelers, whereby people travel in groups. The youth love traveling in groups of friends, or sometimes you find that even families, they travel in groups of families of different income. So you will find that these have specific packages to say you are traveling as a group. We offer you certain discounts. Maybe you have hired a minibus taxi, or you have hired any mode of transport as a family, you will be given a discount. When you book into an accommodation establishment, most of these group tours, they actually assist because you pay a discount as long as you are a group. And last but not least, there is independent packaged tours. The independent packaged tours, you'll find that they're specifically for individuals. Now, that is specifically for you and for you only. So you can maneuver through the itinerary. If you've been given an itinerary, you can actually change it. It's unlike for instance, the group tour. The group tour, an itinerary cannot be changed. What is presented to you, you follow it as is. But now when it comes to independent package tours, it's specific to a specific tourist. So they can opt not to use Uber, and they would want to use maybe a different mode of transport, like, for instance, maybe a metered taxi. So they can actually chop and change whatever is in the itinerary. That is what is meant by independent package tours. Now, moving on to what I call tourist profiles. I've been talking tourists, and tourists. But now, these tourists, they need to be profiled when they are going to different places. Travel agents are the ones responsible for profiling tourists. Now, I'll talk about what a tourist profile is. Now, a tourist profile, this is whereby travel agents put together, personal information with regards to specific individuals. Now, as different tourists as they are, we've got plenty of them. We've got leisure tourists, we've got adventure tourists, we've got visiting friends and family tourists, we've got a whole lot of types of tourists. So they've got their specific needs and preferences. So now you find that when a travel agent is compiling a tourist profile, they will ask for personal information. They will obviously ask you to provide them with, a passport-sized picture of yourself, so that they can put it on your profile. They need to see the kind of an individual they are dealing with in terms of race as well. So now they will also want you to provide the following: your name and surname, all your names and surnames. Remember, other people, they share names, they even share surnames. So you need to give in all your names. If you've got 3 names, just actually put them down, all of them. And then your proper surname, of course. They will also want to know your age. Reason being, they would want to prepare proper activities that are appropriate for your age group. For instance, teenagers, they love, adventure activities. But the elderly, they do not like, being adventurous. So they would want your age so that they can prepare appropriate activities. They will also want your residential address, your contact details, reliable contact details, so that they can have, a communication with you throughout until you go to your destination. They will also want your next of kin, the details for your next of kin. It can be your mother, your father, or anyone who's reliable. They want their details, their name, their cell phone number, in case anything happens, or in case they cannot get a hold of you, they are able to call those numbers and pass on the information. They will also want to inquire about the mode of transport that you prefer using during your tour. So you need to be specific. There's, preferences, there is needs that need to be met, and also there is wants when it comes to transport. Probably you are a mother, so you have maybe a baby. You would want a mode of transport that would accommodate a child. You would want a car seat. That's a preference, isn't it? And also the type of accommodation that you prefer the most. If you are a family, what type of accommodation would you prefer as a family? They will also want to ask you about the meals that you would want to have during your tour, the type of attractions that you are attracted to, that you prefer to go to. Now, they will even tell you that there is fees and permits that are needed when you are visiting these type of attractions. So those are types of information that they would want, and some additional costs, like maybe airport tax or service charge. All those things, they would actually inform you and let you know that this is how much you need for all of that.
We need to learn to live with the COVID virus, the new normal, at least for the next few months. And we have just what you need to make sure you never miss a single school lesson. And it's absolutely free, mahala! High quality, powerful, animated lessons for all your subjects. So don't spend a cent until you have tried iWhiz. It's everything you need. All video lessons, textbooks, workbooks, exam prep. We want you to ace 2021.